Heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve.
All right, we're live, everybody. Welcome into episode 3 and season 2 of the J.O.B. podcast. Today the title is Mamba. I'm your co-host, Dave Ford.
And I'm Todd Steele.
Welcome in, everybody. Today it's self-explanatory who the show is about today, but we're also going to be talking about the people who also lost their lives. It was 1 week ago today, and it was a very, very quick week, and one that I can say, just speaking for myself, as we were just discussing, that it hasn't quite sunk in yet. And I can't say that I was over emotional about it. I was more very intellectual. I was thinking about his entire career all week long, and we got to watch this guy just grow up right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. Kobe was a year younger than me. Mm-hmm. So when I came out of high school, he was coming out of high school too. Yeah. So he's always been there, and it just, I don't know, this really hit home. It really struck home.
It's one of the moments that we can now unfortunately add to the catalog of where were you when, and our generation has had a few of them. We had the Challenger disaster in '86. We had 9/11 in 2001, and although we've had a lot of celebrities pass away since 2016, some heavy hitters like David Bowie and Prince and Aretha Franklin, and now Kobe Bryant. A guy who was 41 years old, and his daughter Gianna 13, and 2 other 13-year-old girls who were on her travel basketball team, and of course the husband and wife couple along with their daughter and the pilot. So 9 people 7 days ago today, and Ty was texting me along with the Mosley basketball players. All of this was happening simultaneously. Yeah. Right about this hour, about 2 o'clock last week, and I was in complete denial. And you were like, "Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened?" I'm like, "I don't believe it. Yeah, I just don't believe it."
Yeah, that was one of those hard things to, like, a hard pill to swallow, because you just seen Kobe probably the night before, the day before. Yeah. Used to seeing his daughters at the Lakers games with him or any basketball game, and he was in the start of his new career, and it really it just touched home. The first thing I said when they said he was in a helicopter crash, I was like, please don't let his family be in there. Please don't let those kids be in there. And then it came out that his daughter, Gianna, was in there. That man, it broke my heart even more than losing him.
I guess, as fathers, something that hit me, it took me until yesterday, was thinking about what breaks my heart the most is they knew what was happening when it was happening.
Yes.
They were terrified. They were very scared. When you're plummeting to the earth at 184 miles an hour, you know that your chances are done.
Yes.
You're praying, and you don't like to think of anybody leaving this earth like that. Mm-hmm. Much less your daughter, who doesn't have a chance to live her life.
Yeah.
And also the 2 kids who got orphaned, losing their parents in one fell swoop. So you have families who are splintered and shattered for life.
Yes.
They're not going to recover. Yeah. They're always going to feel a gigantic void. And but I think that overall the media at large did a great job of remembering the less famous people.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job with that. And I don't have good things to say for the media members that wanted to throw out the shade to what Kobe put himself through in Colorado. It was way too soon for that.
Definitely.
It's a part of his legacy, and he did that, and he accepted it, and I think what we can say, what he was trying to do was make up for it. I mean, he was a father to 4 girls.
Yeah.
And, second chances are something, that's what America's all about. We saw it happen with Michael Vick. We've seen it with so many other sports personalities, and Kobe was out there and very present with the WNBA. He had just gone on record 24 hours before he lost his life that there were 3 players that he thought could actually play in the NBA.
Exactly.
Exactly. I think he was doing a great job, and that's something that not even just his basketball career that I'll miss him for the most, but what he was doing in the second half of his life. It was just starting.
Yeah, it was definitely starting. You're right. It's like when we die or when we pass on, people want to bring up the bad things, and it's like they don't allow people to recover from their mistakes. I think Kobe did a great job recovering from his mistakes. A lot of people in the Me Too movement were coming out full force. Walt Disney's granddaughter was recently one that spoke out against Kobe and said we don't need to praise him as a god. But the thing is, people don't realize how much stuff God is really protecting you all from.
Right.
We look like we got it all together, and that's only because of God. That's only because of what Jesus did for us. He cleans us up, and we look a lot better. So a lot of people don't know our dirt, but people knew Kobe's dirt. But I think the way he responded as a man, the way he responded as a father says a lot about his character. I put up a post this morning. I don't know if you've seen it when I just talked about, first off, it's Black History Month.
I did see that. Yes.
It is Black History Month, and I always tell people, especially being trying to get in the coaching realm or trying to get in the working realm, it's like being a black man, you have to be mistake free. I'm not allowed to get the mistakes that other people allow to make. I got to be dang near perfect to get up in there. So it's already hard doing that. And I got nothing but praises for him to see how he responded to adversity. He faced it head up, got on TV, apologized, did what he had to do, and then reinvented himself. That's why Kobe, at one point in his career, he became a villain because everybody hated him because he got past that. But then he became the person that we beloved, and people still had hate for him because the conversation is being Michael Jordan, LeBron James. It's like, y'all forgot about Kobe.
Sure did.
Y'all forgot about the Black Mamba. So, Kobe, from that point on, when he came in, most people say, I want to be a champion, I want to win some game. Kobe was like, I want to be Michael Jordan.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's what he geared his basketball work ethic towards. I mean, he was like the closest thing I think we will see to Jordan.
No question.
I think LeBron James is the greatest in his era. I think Kobe was the greatest in his era, and Michael Jordan is for his era. We've got to learn to appreciate our athletes while they're here. I sit back now and I'm like, man, all them years I hated Tom Brady, and I really didn't hate him. I have to appreciate the work because even me hating on him, I was like, hey, he's the GOAT. He's the best quarterback there is right now, but I gotta appreciate that while he's alive. Because when he's dead, I'm like, man, all I did was root against the guy, and all he did was win. Never heard anything bad about Tom Brady. His teammates love him, and all of that. I mean, Kobe was misunderstood by a lot of his teammates, and I've seen a lot of them speaking out this week. And they said he was just so hard on us. He was hard about work ethic. Mm-hmm. I seen the one where he took everybody's shoes.
Yeah. I love that.
That's classic.
I love it.
Y'all are not worthy to wear these because y'all played terrible. I mean, so he was misunderstood to a lot of his teammates, but he wanted to be great every second of his life.
Another part of pain that I felt during the week was, how staunch I am about helping this current generation with some old school life skills. We talk about this a lot.
Big time.
Almost at exhaustion. Yeah. And something that was bothering me was he was the last of that breed. He was the last of us that was out there. I'm proud to say that I was a huge fan of Kobe while he was playing. I was still a Lakers fan early in his career because I was a Lakers fan from Magic and James Worthy from back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And then when Shaq came, it reinvigorated things. And then they got Kobe to come, and all of a sudden the Lakers were larger than life. And I remember those days like they were yesterday. I remember the battles with the Spurs and Kobe growing from a guy who shot 3 air balls against the Jazz in the Western Conference semifinals to come back the next year and he's killing the Spurs. The Spurs were on top.
Oh yeah.
They swept them. And I remember those things. And Kobe as a player, I think we really didn't appreciate him like we should have. Mm-hmm. And I think if we're being honest with ourselves, that's what we have to say. To say that we did, I think, is lying.
Yeah.
I think that he was on a team that had gigantic personalities on it. Phil Jackson was the coach. Phil Jackson had already coached the Bulls to 6 rings.
Yeah.
He had already coached the best of all time in Michael. Everybody and their brother, including me, was going, Kobe, now hold on, you're trying to be Mike.
Yeah.
You're not going to be Mike. I was holding him off and stiff arming him, but I remember Kobe growing on me. I remember watching his flair and his fire. And in the, you know, my friend group at the time, I'd be like, I mean, are you seeing this guy? I'm like, we thought in our lifetime we wouldn't see another guy like that, but this guy's close.
Yep.
He was so close. And you couldn't help but respect him. Like you said about Tom Brady, obviously you're a Steeler fan. You're going to root against him. He's in the AFC.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But you respect him.
Oh, yeah.
You hate him, but you respect him because you know he's the best of the best.
Definitely.
And you were watching Kobe going, you know what, one day he's going to get that torch from Michael.
Yeah.
And their careers overlapped at the very end. And you see Michael when they were mic'd up on the floor, Michael saying, look, now, I would have attacked this way. I would have gone at your rib cage. This is how I would have done.
Yeah.
And you look on YouTube, which I reposted it, you've seen it. So many people have seen the side-by-side comparisons of how Kobe studied Michael to the nth degree.
Yep.
And you see that level of perfection, and that breed is gone now.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely gone. I mean, everybody wants to run around now and say Mamba mentality. They don't have it.
They don't have it.
They don't have it. I mean, I can point out, I can say Westbrook, Dame Lillard, what he did to the Lakers the other night, that was Mamba mentality. You go up, you're trying to dunk on the whole team, that's Mamba mentality. But Kobe's thinking was way past what our thinking was. Kobe had hit lists. He wasn't afraid to say it.
No,
I have this person on my list. So they said that I'm scared of this person. Okay, I want you one-on-one. When I play your team, I'm going at your neck.
That's right.
And I'm like, gosh, that's what Mamba mentality is. Not being afraid to take the challenge and going at it. The greatest thing I like about Kobe Bryant is, like, you know, when we all going to die one day, and we're going to have a preacher who's going to stand up and he's going to preach a sermon about us. I believe Kobe already preached his eulogy through his whole life, the way he lived.
He did.
I mean, you can go to Kobe's funeral and just let him talk from old videos, and that will be the eulogy. Every time this man started speaking, especially later on in his life, it was something that was impactful. It was something that could turn your life around. And I was like, man, he just opened his mouth now and greatness is coming out.
Right.
He instilled that in his daughters, and he's like, my one daughter's a volleyball player. My baby does this. He's with my middle child. And he was talking about Gianna at this time, and he was like, she got it. She got what I got. And you just watched her on the basketball court, and now how everybody's honoring her. I mean, my daughter used to follow her, just to, watch the moves. You have younger kids looking up to these guys' kids, and I think Kobe knew that. Like, it's going to be a lot of girls watching you.
He did.
And you got to carry yourself.
He's very aware.
You got to do that. And, and just to see them interact was just amazing. And one of the most saddest things I've heard somebody say this week, and what I thought about me being a dad, was before that helicopter dropped, Kobe had already died. His heart was broken.
Right. Because
as a man, you always want to protect your kids. Knowing you're up there, you're coming down, there's nothing you can do for your daughter at that moment. I know he died from a broken heart before that plane hit. And that really hurt me, because I think about all the times I want to protect my kid and what I want to protect her from. And just being up there, that's out of my control.
Right.
That's why I hate flying. I mean, it can happen driving.
We're not in control anyway, yeah.
We're definitely not in control. God is, everything happens for a reason. And it's, I always say you're not supposed to question God, but I think God wants us to question him sometimes. Like, why, God, why did you do this? He's probably not going to give us an answer.
Sure.
But I don't think nothing is wrong with saying, God, why did the kids have to, why this and why that? And I think he does a lot of things so that we can all see, so that we can all, that we can believe, and that we can understand. And, if we live our life like Kobe did, and strive to be a father like him, it'll make us better human beings. Because I think right now the world is so messed up, so twisted. And I was just saying last week, I do not want to turn on the TV and hear anything else about impeachment. I'm sick of it. I'm done with politics. I just want to vote, be done with it.
Right.
I'm sick of that. And like little I know, I was like, oh man, now the news is nothing but Kobe. And I'm like, I don't want to see it no more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's breaking my heart every time I turn on and hear a story. He was holding his door. It just breaks my heart to the T. But I think God is readjusting us for times like this. I remember the old folks always saying, we're living in the last days. And you've heard that since you were a kid.
Right.
We're living in the last days. You're like, man, I think they're just saying it. But I feel like we are truly living in the last days. I think about the people we lost last decade. Whitney Houston,
I've lost track, dude.
Michael Jackson, Prince, all of those people, like huge people that contributed to our
Larger than life.
childhood, and they're gone. But I think nothing stung like this one stings. You know.
Well, because he was in his prime.
Yeah, and you think about it. If AB, and I'm not putting this on anybody, if they woke up and told me that AB was killed or AB died, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I would be hurt. Don't get me wrong. That's a life lost. But just the way that his life is going and the way that Kobe's life was headed, it's like Kobe was going to a whole nother direction. So, but I think it's for people like AB to wake up. Kendrick Perkins apologized to Kevin Durant, said their life is too small. Jason, I forget his last, Williams got on ESPN and cursed, like basically like, man, y'all let all this go. Life is too short, and we've been living, I think, just across the world like tomorrow is promised to us.
Right.
And it's really not. So this was definitely an eye-opener for all of us.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about what are the lessons that we learned from Kobe while he was here and now that he's gone. Jason Glass, I appreciate you contributing. I just reconnected him, a guy I graduated high school with. Mm-hmm. He said, God's hands, we as humans try to control the situations, but in reality we are just riding shotgun.
That's
well said.
Exactly.
Well said. You know, we ride shotgun. We got the view from up front, but you know, we like to think that we're in control. We like to think when we get behind the wheel every day that we're going to make it work.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's never a guarantee. Every day is a miracle.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
I guess what I would like us to talk about is what is Kobe Bryant's legacy. And you know, the first thing, if I say, what do you think of first about Kobe? What do you say without even thinking? What's the first thing?
Legend.
Okay.
Greatness.
First thing I wrote down the other day was hard work.
Yeah.
The guy, for all his glitz and glamour, he was the ultimate Los Angeles Laker.
Oh, yeah.
Even Magic Johnson said it. If Magic Johnson, who was my idol, can say that, then it's good enough for me. Because Magic was always the Laker. But if he says he's the ultimate Laker, then I'll go with it. And like I said, those two words are at my desk. I have a gold dice that's rotational, and I can change it any day I want to. But I've had the two words up there, hard work. And I see those when I come in every day, and it's a reminder to me, no matter what I'm doing, all the peaks and valleys every day, I better be working hard towards something. I can't be standing still.
Oh yeah.
And that was something about Kobe that you mentioned the word misunderstood earlier. I don't think he was so much misunderstood. And I'm not saying you were wrong. I'm saying people didn't want to accept him.
Yeah, they did.
Because he was so hardcore.
Yeah.
He was so hardcore that Allen Iverson said, I remember when I was a rookie, and the thing I remember about Kobe the most, when I first met him, Kobe said to me, "What are you doing after the game?" And I said, "Going to the club." He said, "Where are you going, Kobe?" Kobe said, "I'm going to the gym."
Yeah. Yeah.
Kobe had already been around a few years by then.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, what do you say? You know, it's like he was that guy. He was the gym rat when he didn't need to be the gym rat.
Mm-hmm.
But he had studied the best.
Yeah.
And another quote I heard the other day, I was sitting on the couch trying to recover from bronchitis, and I'm just watching all these retrospective films. Ahmad Rashad did this interview with him, I think it was 2 years ago, right after he had retired.
Yeah.
And he said, "You had 5 rings, Kobe." And Kobe snapped back and said, "Should have been 7.
Mm-hmm.
With a dead look on his face, like just boom, should have been 7. And I'm like, wow, he's right. He went to 7 finals. Mm-hmm. And you forget about that. He went 5 for 7. And had he gotten that 7th, would have been one better than MJ.
Yeah.
He would have bested him.
Yeah.
He wanted that. It wasn't good enough that he was a 5-time champ. It wasn't good enough he was an MVP or an 18-time NBA All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted that 7th ring.
Oh yeah.
And so it's that kind of thing, like we say, that almost to a cliche, the Mamba mentality, which I'm not a huge fan of saying that. To me, what that means to me is that it's not so much that nothing's ever good enough, it is that you never feel like you have arrived. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's everything that's right with that. Mm-hmm. And now that he's gone, that mentality is gone. But there's guys like you and I. Now it makes what we do even more important. Now it makes our message even more important. It was already important to begin with your guys at Rutherford, with my guys at Mosley, with whoever you're seeing in college, with whoever I'm seeing in the workplace. It's so important for us to carry that on because we do think like he did. We do live like he did. It's just nobody knows about us out there in the public eye.
Cerebral assassin.
Oh, absolutely. He was in guys' head while they were still in the locker room.
Oh yeah.
And that's part of the game in itself. And that Kobe caught a lot of flack for that, you know.
Yeah, he definitely.
But all he was trying to do was win.
Exactly. I always go back to, I think it was a game in Orlando when Matt Barnes was trying to shove the ball in his face and Kobe didn't even flinch.
Didn't even move.
It was like,
and
they recently had an interview for their podcast and Kobe sat down and talked to him. They was like, you would never do stuff like this back in. He was like, well, you know, I got to make myself more available. He was like, and just the love that he showed everybody. You know, LeBron said they always didn't have the best relationship, but the love he showed, like, because when he got to LA, Kobe didn't call him.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to watch back and see what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And then he started to come out and see him and watch him play and show him love and his daughter and all of that. I mean, Kobe was just, he said when he played basketball, the only thing he could focus on was basketball. So I know at times he had to probably suck as a husband because all he thought about was basketball.
He was obsessed.
Yeah, and so he couldn't be with anything else until basketball was over. Then he enjoyed being home. He's like, I love being home, being goofy with my kids. I love it. It's like the greatest thing ever.
Absolutely.
And it's just that, you know, transitioning to that mentality changed a lot for him. So, I mean, just watching him shoot those air balls. And he did an interview, and they was like, how did you come back from that? And he spoke about how he came back. He said, I went to the gym. He said, I realized, he said, if you look at it, nobody else would say this, I think. He said, excuse me, if you look at it, my shot was dead on. It was going to the hoop. Mm-hmm. He said, what I figured out, he's like, in high school, I'm playing 20, 30 games. He said, I come to the NBA, I'm playing 80. He's like, so my shot was dead on. It was dead. There was nothing wrong with my shot. He said, my legs sucked. I was tired. I had played 80 games, so I got in the gym. He said, I had to train harder now to be an NBA player. So I trained and conditioned my legs to be able to go through the NBA finals. And he also was like, if he had Shaq, he'd won more titles. But, you know, that's all a part of him growing up. The thing with him and Shaquille O'Neal and how everything came full circle and how Shaq's kids called him uncle and, you know, vice versa. It was all of those things coming full circle. We watched Kobe Bryant grow up right before our eyes.
You did.
Same thing with us. I mean, we all grew up and got to a certain level because we all wasn't good people at certain ages in our life. Not saying we were bad people, but we're not the individuals that we are now. I think our process changes as the years grow. You know, I was raised to be a Democrat, and I don't like to talk politics, but as I get older, I'm like, man, it's better to be an independent. You got to pick the lesser of two evils. Yeah. You can't just say I'm a part of this party. You got to pick the lesser of two evils because somebody's lying, but who's lying the less? And we figure that out. But that's all a part of growing up and becoming a man. People just will assume things about you, but as you grow and become a man, things change. And like you said, that work ethic with Kobe, it never changed. He constantly worked. The helicopter was in position so he could work more and get to things on time. He's like, he was in traffic and he missed his daughter's play. Right. And it drove him crazy that he missed the play because he's sitting there in traffic. So he went up in the helicopter. And that's what he said. He took the helicopter to practices and called it the game. So it was a natural thing for him. Thank God him and his wife had a pact that said
they wouldn't ride together.
Be on the helicopter at the same time. Yeah. Just in case this happens. And it did.
The motion I could think of the most, I got angry at Kobe last week because when you look at the conditions that were on TV, and then you found out the police department was grounded for the day. Exactly. And I was like, dang it, man, you shouldn't have been out there. Yeah. I'm like, you were in control of your facility, where you were going to. All you had to do was text or make a phone call and say, look, we got to do a car today. We can't get up in there. That's all. I was like, man, that's all you had to do, dude. Yeah. And so I remember just shouting just to myself, to nobody in particular, just getting angry because I was a huge fan of Nirvana. Yeah. And when we lost Kurt Cobain, I will still hear the music today, and I'm like, man, he was selfish. Man, he was selfish for taking his own life, because we could have had all this great music. He was just getting started.
Yeah.
And you hate to say that, you know, you hate to, when you lose somebody out of selfishness, that you're like, you should have been there for me to entertain me.
Yeah.
But no, I put myself in that moment, and I told Davis, I said, you know, nothing ever should be that much of a hurry that you put yourself at risk like that. And they really did. And you don't want to say that hindsight's 20/20, and you don't want to second guess, but that was one. I'm like, the whole thing could have been avoided, man.
Yeah.
It could have been avoided, and I hate that.
I mean, you think about it. It brings me back to Aaliyah. Right, I love Aaliyah as a singer, and I thought she was just a beautiful soul.
Cut down so young.
Yeah, but
21.
But they were rushing and got on a plane that was overloaded, and the plane crashed.
Yeah.
Never get a chance to see what she could be.
She was just starting.
Super cut short. Tupac.
24.
Tupac was I love Tupac. Man, I didn't want to listen to nobody else's music when he died. I started rapping after Tupac died.
Yeah, you said that.
Because I didn't want to listen to anybody else. Because all I wanted to hear was Tupac. And, you know, I thought that was normal, because they told a lot of us as young men that, you know, we'll be dead by the time we were 25. We're either going to be dead or in jail. So that was my expectations. And when I turned 25, I was like, I made it.
Right.
I made it. But, I mean, the lives are just cut so short. But you think about in Tupac's time and Aaliyah's time, how much people they touched. Just like they touched millions of people, still affect people to this day.
Well, they're transcendent.
Yes, and I mean, and you think about all the lives that Kobe touched, all the people that's going down, leaving balloons, leaving jerseys, handwritten notes, just to Kobe. Like he's one of them. I mean, but it is amazing how much they've done in just a short period of time. It makes you want to get up and be like, I got to do more.
Oh yeah.
I'm slipping.
Well, that's where I was.
To do that.
That's where I was last week. I was so sick, and I was trying to get back to work, and I was trying to get back to the basketball team, and I'm thinking like, gosh, man, I'm like, I gotta hurry up. And I had this renewed sense of urgency, and you feel guilty, and you're like, he can't do anything else now, and that's up to me, and it's like, just calm down, you know, just calm down. And one of the things is you gotta live every day.
Yeah.
You know, you can make plans, that's fine. Always be planning ahead, but don't miss what's right in front of you.
Exactly.
And with the lives that we lead as coaches and as educators, and we're always trying to multitask, we always think that we can handle more. Mm-hmm. This is something else that you and I should look at and say, okay, we'll get there. We can handle what we can handle. Yeah. Let's take a deep breath and start looking around a little bit and slow life down.
Yeah, the thing that tripped me out though, they came up with the hashtag girl dad.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of dads posting it. And I've seen people getting mad about it. I'm like, man, listen, you know, anything to bring recognition to fathers who just, I mean, like, you know, you're in your kid's life. I think that is the greatest thing ever. But a lot of people get offended about it. It was like, oh, you're supposed to be doing this anyway. You're supposed to. Well, a lot of guys aren't. Right. And a lot of guys are mad because they don't have sons. I mean, I'm not mad. I love my girls. I mean, you know, I was waiting for one of them to be able to play basketball, and then Janaea came along. I was like, I got the smart ones, I got the educated ones, I got the church ones, I got that. And I said, now I got my little basketball player, but she's like all of them. She's like gumbo. So she dances, she plays basketball, and you know, I'm just thankful that all my kids are healthy, they're alive, and they have great personalities, and they're great women. I saw my daughter in church probably 2-3 weeks ago, was singing a song, and the spirit just hit her. Yeah. And I just seen her breaking down, crying, and I was like, Lord, that's, you know, my prayer's always been, let my girls be great women of God. Mm-hmm. Let them be mighty in that. I mean, I know they're going to do other things, but let them be mighty women of God. And God showed me my daughter, and it was just a beautiful thing. So, but people were mad about the hashtag girl dad. Listen, people die every day, and I think when we go to funerals, that's why they always ask, is there anybody that want to give their heart to God right now? Because that is such an emotional time, and those deaths are just to bring awareness to, like, we all got an expiration date. Is your life right? You need to get it right. Come get it right now. So a lot of people are compelled right then to get their life right. So out of death, there are bright spots. I think the bright spots is the hashtag girl dads. If dads wasn't involved in their life, daughter's life beforehand, they're looking like, no, I need to get involved. I need to do more.
Right.
I need to push myself. Maybe I was slipping on my daughter. And if that's pushing these guys to be better fathers, I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
So I get mad when I see people fussing at, they're going at dads, girl dad. I'm like, come on, man. Come on, see what it was for. Kobe was an icon to a lot of us. And now he's inspiring people to be more involved in their kids' life. And a lot of the kids, they love it. They love Kobe. But I was like, you really got to go back and study Kobe because you don't see work ethic. You guys were born probably like in his latter years.
Yeah.
And you didn't get to see what we know as we call him the mom, but you didn't get to see Kobe Bryant in high school showing out. And just to know that this guy had a kill list when he was in high school, he was like, this person is ranked higher now. I'm like 40 something on his list. So every AAU tournament I go to, I'm going to seek this player out and I'm going to beat them.
Right.
I'm going to beat them. They're not fight them.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on them. Kind of like what Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan did when Chicago didn't renew Scottie's contract.
Right.
And they bought in, what was the name? Kukoc. They bought him in, and so they had to go play him that summer in the Olympics.
Yeah. And
they just physically just beat him down. He was like, I was wondering why they was playing me so hard. Nobody never played me that hard. It was like they'll play everybody else normal. When they came to me, they was really harder on me.
It was the ultimate initiation.
Yeah, they was like, we finna give it to you. Since they don't want to give Scottie his contract, they want to bring you on, we finna beat you, bro. We finna really give it to you. So that's where that mindset thought. You look at Jordan back in the days. Jordan had the same mindset.
He was an assassin.
I mean, I remember Mutombo telling him, like, hey, you dunked on everybody but me. And he's like, I haven't dunked on you. He was like, nah. He's like, all right, I got you next game.
Yep.
Next game, woof.
And then he wagged it at him.
Yeah, and then waved his finger at him like, I got you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how Jordan was. That's how Kobe was. We don't have those players now. Players are more friendly now.
Oh, yeah.
I like to see them when they get into like a little scuffle on the court. I don't want nobody punching nobody, but I like to see that. I like to see the back and forth, the going at you. I've seen that a lot in Westbrook. And I'm telling you, what Damian Lillard did to the Lakers the other night was like assassin type stuff.
Yeah, it's in him.
He was like, all right, I know this is a thing for Kobe, but here you go. I'm going to show you.
Well, and that's what I'm hoping that maybe that can help inspire and reinvigorate that attitude.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we talk about attitude, I think attitude gets a really negative connotation in American society. Like, don't be bringing that attitude, but we don't say, what about the attitude that inspires you to be better, to be great?
Oh, yeah. Terry Morning said it best right now. He just said Kobe was fearless. And I go back to when the guy, Matt Barnes, was flinching that ball in his face, and Kobe didn't even flinch. He just stood there like...
He had no fear.
He had no fear at all. He had no fear.
He had no fear.
And he thought about every day, what can I do to be greater? We got to start asking ourselves that as people too. What can we do every day to be greater? Right now, I think our biggest thing is just to have so much separation and so much divide in this country, and that's the news. That's all it is. Where is the togetherness? I hate that it takes 9/11, it takes athlete to die to bring us all together.
Always does.
And, you know, like when 9/11 happened, man, listen, I felt bad for everybody that lived, but I'm telling you, I mean, everybody that lost their life, but I'm telling you, that was my first time I said, you know, I want to go to the military, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then people, no matter your color, no matter your background, was helping each other out.
Right.
You need this. Same thing with the hurricane, but then we go back to this, we're divided again.
Yeah.
We hate each other. We're not speaking to each other. We dislike each other.
The dust always settles.
Yeah, and I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of turning on the news and just hearing about politics. I don't even want to hear about it no more. I just want positivity in my life. I want everything to be. We need positive stuff in the United States right now. We need positive stuff all across the world. So we got to figure those things out and make them happen. And I mean, it takes situations like this to bring us closer together and realize who Kobe was and who Kobe always was. I think it'll make us better coaches. I think if we can go back to a time when they said we can't coach like that no more. You can't coach players hard. They're going to quit on you. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Kobe at one point got rid of Phil Jackson.
He did.
And then he realized he needed Phil Jackson and went back and got Phil Jackson. I'm telling you, we need that old school coach. We need those coaches that are not going to take no for an answer, that we're not going to settle. Because if we're not, we are creating more Antonio Browns of the world, and I'm praying he gets it together. The NFL came out and said they're not going to let him go by the wayside. They're going to get him some help. They're going to do those things. So I'm proud to hear
I'm starting to look pretty smart about that now.
Yeah. I'm proud to see those things.
Yeah.
But we got to go back to that old school coaching. Our main problem is school of choice does not allow us to be the old school coaches we want. You can't coach a kid as hard as you want, because he'll transfer on you. And that's what a lot of coaches are worried about these days, kids transferring on you. You know me, I will probably play with a team of 15 football players that all respect me and want to go hard, and having a team of 40 to 50 knuckleheads.
Well, the cool thing is the school that you're involved with at Rutherford and the school that I'm involved with at Mosley, we have programs where we do have coaching staffs that are based in old school.
Yep.
And I'm proud of that. And it's no accident. I'm not bragging. It's no accident that we're the top 2 teams in Bay County.
Oh, yeah.
That's not an accident. That we're on a collision course coming up Friday night.
Yep.
It's not even about the district, because we're not in the same district. It's about pride. It's about city pride.
Yep.
Because these kids know each other. They've grown up with each other. They've, talking some friendly trash. It's all about the game. And that's what Kobe was about at the end was, look, I got time to be friends with you later. But the quote that talks about friends with him, he said, look, friends can hang around for a little bit, but banners hang forever.
Exactly.
Dude, that quote is cold-blooded.
Exactly.
And you're like, I like that.
Yeah. I mean,
You like that.
We got to go back to that old school. I know the younger kids hate to hear it, and I said it a few weeks ago. I said the kids have not changed. The parents have. Parents have become weaker, and they want to give their kids participation trophies. Listen, if my daughter is awful in something, I tell them, I'm like, baby, that's not for you. That's not for you. And I remember Gianna and Kiki having an argument the other day. It really wasn't an argument, it was a discussion. Back in the days, Kiki tried out for basketball. She's always been a cheerleader. Yeah. And I think she tried out for basketball just for me.
Probably.
And so I went to the tryout, and she gave it everything she had, bless her heart. But it just was not clicking. I was so proud of her, though. I was so proud. And I just told her, I said, hey, you did the best you could. Mm-hmm. That's all I can ask. And you gave it everything you had. I'm proud of you. She got cut like the first day. Yeah. And so Janelle was messing with her. Like, you got cut the first day, but how come Dad did not fuss at you? And then she was like, he didn't fuss at me about that. He told me he was proud of me. She was like, well, he always fusses at me on the court. And I was like, it's a difference, between y'all. I love you, both of you all to death, but I know your strengths and I know your weaknesses.
That's right.
So I know, Janae, I know basketball is your thing. I knew cheerleading was Kiki's thing. I knew all of those things. So I coached y'all hard on those things that you did. So I'm a cheer dad. I'm doing the cheer. Hey, you didn't pop your arm right. You could have been loud. You could have smiled. You could have gave me more spirit. Yeah. That's what I would tell Kiki and Janae. I'm like, what are you thinking? She had a try yesterday. She shot an air ball off from a free throw line. And she looked over at me, and she was like, I was like, really? Really? And it was like, is she embarrassing me? I was like, no, she's not. She expects me to do it. And if I don't do it, it kind of weirds her out. Shout out to Coach Ross. I see you just joined the chat.
All right. What up, Coach?
And Terry Morin also, let me go back to Miss Sweeting. She said, this is crazy. The topic is Kobe. As I was pulling in my driveway, this little kid, about 7 years old, was outside giving his all at his basketball goal in front of his home with a Kobe jersey on.
There you go.
And it just shocked me to see that this little self being so fearless and focused on shooting from across the road, no matter how many times it took him to make it.
That's what it's all about.
Coach Ross said, every moment is a teachable one, Coach. And he's dead on it. I mean, I brag on him all the time on here. I've been under a lot of coaches, but I've never seen nothing like this man. I mean, he is a giant down here.
He is.
I don't think he gets enough recognition for it. Just being on his staff, his mindset about basketball, he's like cerebral at it. Mm-hmm. Knows all the plays, knows where everybody's supposed to be. Get in this gap, get in the wrong gap. What did you do wrong? And he expects you to know it. Sometimes you'll get yelled at as a coach because you didn't see it. But I love it.
Well, I love it. I love playing against him.
And then I also got to tell him, I beat him the other day. We had a 3-point shootout.
Did you?
And he said, I can't believe I lost to a football coach.
Well, he's going to come back for some more.
But Terry Morton also said it starts at home, bro. Parents need to hold these kids to a certain standards. And he also said if they don't respect their parents, they will not respect teachers or coaches.
Absolutely.
And that's the hardest thing we have as coaches today. They want us to turn Lil Booby into Lil Booby that can play football and be the greatest star on earth, but there's no discipline and no structure at home. It's got to start at the house.
So let's do something fun since Coach Ross is with us, and maybe this will get other people going. Davis asked me the other day, and I hadn't thought about this. He's like, Dad, where do you put Kobe all time? He's like, who's your starting five? And I went, oh boy. And so I took a minute, and I really had to think about this, because you got these guys' faces flashing through your brain.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm a sports nerd, and I got all this knowledge, and I'm going this position, power forward, center, and I just started going. He's like, who do you got, Dad? Who's your five? I said, okay. Well, I was like, well, some of my guys play the same position, but now we live in an age of where it's positionless basketball.
Yeah.
So let's go with this. I said, I got MJ, Magic,
okay,
Larry Bird,
Larry Legend,
Kobe,
yeah,
and Shaq. That's my starting five.
that's your starting.
He's like, where's LeBron? He's like, who you got on the bench? So I want you to be thinking. So I said, okay, on the bench,
Jerry West.
I got Kareem,
Yes.
I got LeBron, I got Isaiah Thomas,
Gotta ask.
I got Steph Curry,
Okay.
and I got Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen got to be on that list.
That's my 10.
Coach Ross, what's your top five? Let me know what your top five is. What would your top five starters be in the NBA right now?
Yeah.
The old NBA and till now.
That's a hard question.
That's very hard, man. It's very hard. I mean, I probably would have LeBron in my starting five, but I don't know who I would take out of your top five. I don't know.
I mean, who do you replace?
You think about Shaq. Who could stop Shaq?
Most dominant big man ever.
Yeah, who could stop him? I mean, what's the kid now that came from Duke last year that just now started playing? What's his name?
Zion.
Zion has been amazing.
And it's so early.
Hey, listen,
It's
he
so
shot
early.
me.
Yeah.
He shot, but there's nobody's going to out-rebound him. When he gets down there and start getting his rebound and then going back up.
I worry he's going to be a Bo Jackson. I worry he's a shooting star.
You think he's an injury?
I think he's a shooting star. I got a sick feeling in my gut that he's going to be that guy that's like, wow, when he was on the court, he was box office. You had to stop what you were doing. He was that guy that you said, did you see what Zion did last night?
Yeah.
But something's going to happen to him.
It's amazing. If you put Kyrie on that list.
I don't respect Kyrie Irving.
Right now?
He doesn't love the game.
Yeah.
He doesn't love the game.
And listen, he was really close to Kobe Bryant. He was really close. Really, really
Well,
close.
and when I found that out, that disappointed me because I'm like, I guess Kobe didn't have that much of an effect on you.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to him.
Well, his main thing with Kobe, I think he told him he wanted to lead his own team. And Kobe was like, you're going to lead your own team? Go, lead. Go to where you're going to go. And he left, but he didn't. The thing is, he didn't learn. He didn't learn.
Kyrie selfish, dude.
Yeah, he didn't learn under LeBron on how to be a leader. I learned something from Coach Ross the other day. Coach Ross always teaches us. Oh, listen, he's got his list.
Does he? What's he got?
He's got MJ, Magic, Bird, Kareem, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Oh, I forgot about Olajuwon. Oh,
I didn't forget. Hakeem, I've always held him up.
The dream.
I've always held up Hakeem really high. I loved his game.
Yeah, the dream was nasty.
Gosh,
But,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Coach Ross said something the other day about leadership that made so much sense, and you start thinking about how your seniors are leading your underclassmen,
Right.
Different things that he wants to happen now, and he was like, "See, this is when it comes to leadership, and did they learn when they were sitting up under?
Right.
Because you start to see when they're seniors how their leadership is. So every moment is like." It's like being under Coach Ross was like learning from Coach Harden when Coach Harden was coaching. Coach Harden never coached the players; he coached the coaches.
Right.
So he knew if his coaches was top of the line, his team was going to be amazing. And Coach Harden would walk by your drill while you're doing the drill, and I would hear him whisper to the other coaches like they were doing the drill, and he didn't think the drill was nice. He would say, I wouldn't do that drill if I was you. He would just walk away.
Yeah.
And so it flabbergasted the coach so bad. He was like, wait a minute, I got to step my game up. So he forced everybody to step their game up, which was amazing. Which was an amazing thing. So, I love the space that my life is in now. I'm used to being head coach girls basketball. I miss my girls. They went out to the Gulf Coast basketball game.
You left them in good hands, though.
Yeah, they ran out to me and, Coach, we miss you, and they just hugged and they just loved on me, and I just told them, I said, y'all just keep fighting, keep pushing. They start playoffs next week, and I told them, I said, just fight. You know, you got to remember, we went in as a team. We was the last seed.
That's right.
Knocked off the number one team. That guy still gives me the evil eye to this day. We was the last seed.
Nobody can take that away from you.
It can be done.
Yeah.
You got to believe. You got to have that mentality to go in like we're going to attack everything. And that coach told me, he said he knew from the tip off. He said, I don't know what you said to your girls. I don't know what you said to their team, but they were so fired up that they was not going to lose that game.
Yeah.
And we just had a different mindset going in that game. And you know, great coaches can do that. They can pull it all out of you.
Yeah.
Great teammates can do the same thing. I think you think about Paul Gasol, all those guys, like he's left Lakers.
Well, and Kobe brought greatness
he brought
out of
the best
him.
out of him. So like, what has he done now?
Nothing.
You
He
think
needed
about,
Kobe.
Yeah, you think about the other guys that were with, I mean, other than Shaq, what other, Robert Horry, did he play with Kobe?
Yeah.
That big shot.
Robert has 5 rings.
Yeah, Robert Horry is quiet.
I met him once. Real quiet dude, real nice guy.
So you think about it, you know, he was just that type player that would bring the best out of everybody. And I think a lot of the coaches we have, you included, you guys bring the best out of each player that you ever coached. I watched you do it with my daughter. That's why I had so much respect for you. And like I said, I didn't have to yell when I got there. I was like, he's going to do it for me. This is great. Most coaches are passively aggressive, and I understand why. Why. But, you know, he was like, hey, I demand this. I command this. And what did Terry say? Terry said Mike is Kobe and Kobe is Mike. You cannot separate the same exact players. They are number one in my pick. And Terry Morning, we always picked him when he looks just like Michael Jordan.
Does he?
Game, everything is like MJ.
Wow.
Walks around and chew his gum. Ain't that right, T?
So who's your 5 if you didn't finish?
I mean, I don't know who to pull out. It was your 5. I just don't know who to pull out. I would have put LeBron in there, but my 5 is your 5. Nah, man.
Well, who's your bench, though? Who's your bench? Because that's where it really gets interesting.
My bench would be Scottie Pippen, Dwayne Wade.
Okay.
I got to have Dwayne Wade on there. Akeem Olajuwon. Gotta have the Rain Man, though. I don't know why.
Sean Kemp?
Oh, I love Sean Kemp.
Really?
Yeah, Mr. Highlighter. What? I gotta have Sean Kemp.
He was exciting, but he didn't have an overall game.
Yeah, he was exciting.
He was a shooting star.
And probably Dennis Rodman.
So you want a team of grinders then? That's a grinder team.
Yeah, I want a team of grinders. That's
okay.
Grind they went off. Oh, Coach Ross said Ori has 7 rings.
7?
Yes, he does have 7. Remember he got some with Houston.
Well, I know he won with San Antonio also. Yeah, Houston with the back to back with the Rockets, and then he went to the Lakers, and then he went to the Spurs.
Yeah. Hello, Misha's mom, Keisha. She's on here. She said yes, he does. Ori is her cousin.
Okay.
7 rings.
Wow.
How many does it make Phil Jackson have? 9?
Phil has 9. No.
How many did he get with the Lakers?
Phil has 11.
Gosh.
He got more than Red Auerbach.
He got the pinky toe action going. He filled all this out with the pinky toe.
Because he got 6 with the Bulls, and he got 5 with the Lakers because he had the 3-peat.
Yeah.
Then he left and came back and got the repeat.
Yeah.
Because he beat the Magic and the Celtics.
Phil is the GOAT.
Yeah, there's no question.
Phil is the GOAT.
That's not even a debate. I mean, we could talk about all-time coaches some other day. That's not as sexy, though, as the all-time player. So the Mount Rushmore thing, I mean, this is even more fun because this has come up. I was on the radio a few years back, and I had people coming at me, and this is when LeBron was with the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Okay? Which, in my opinion, that was his best basketball. When he was in Miami, Dwayne...
He became LeBron.
That was Batman and Robin.
That second year in Miami.
Yes.
He became LeBron.
That's the year that we've seen that iconic picture where Dwayne Wade is going towards the camera with the lob behind him and LeBron is catching it, getting ready to dunk it. An iconic picture.
Yeah.
So, people are like, who on your Mount Rushmore? People are like, well, you know, that's only 4 spots. So again, for me, you got to go through most impactful, because the Mount Rushmore we have for our the fathers of the United States are so impactful. What did each gentleman do when they built our country? So you try to put those same standards in the NBA. You can't do it in the NFL. It's impossible. No. You cannot. No. You can't. I've tried. The NBA is even a stretch, but the thing is, I still leave LeBron out of that.
What?
And look, people are going to be like, dude, you're just a hater. No, I'm not. I promise you. My thing with LeBron is this. He is a victim of his timing. And let me explain. And I've never said this publicly. I've never explained it like this. He's a victim of his timing because of who he came after. Yeah. Let's think about this. Let's really break this down. He came after Magic. He came after Michael. He came after Larry. He came after Clyde Drexler. Shaq, Kobe.
Yeah.
So when you have those nuclear, transcendent personalities in front of you, what is left to do that hasn't been done? Now, how I'm going to sum that evaluation up is LeBron has all of the greatest qualities of all those players.
Yeah.
He does. He is the ultimate. If his superpower is anything at all, he has the ability to absorb the greatest abilities from the greatest. If that makes any sense at all. He has taken everything that was great about the NBA, the greatest players, and he can do everything that they can do.
Yeah.
What he's lacking, what his kryptonite is he never had the killer instinct that Kobe and Michael had.
Okay.
That you can't argue that. There's nobody that can argue that knows anything about basketball. If they try to argue that, I'll just say, look, you don't know what you're talking about. Because he would rather pass first, and that's fine. That's who he is. Yeah. But I leave him off because of the fact that in basketball, and if Coach Ross is still with us, he can attest to this.
Yeah, he just gave you a new list.
Okay. He can attest to this, that you want guys on the floor, 1 through 5, who you trust them with the ball in their hands. They're going to make the right decision. You don't want a guy who's going to get, no, I need to pass it.
Yeah.
You want the guys who said, I should take the shot. So when I put Larry in there, he wants that shot. When I put Michael, he wants the shot. Kobe wants the shot. Magic wants the shot. There's my Mount Rushmore.
I would put LeBron on it. I think. Hold on, Coach Raw. Let me get his bench, because I forgot about this guy. I don't know how we let this guy out. He said Shaq, Bill Russell, LeBron, Isaiah, Kobe, Wilt, and KD is on his bench. I forgot about Kevin Durant.
I didn't forget him. He's still evolving.
But you think about it, LeBron and KD grew up in an era where they were all friends. They all played AAU basketball, so they're used to being friends. I think LeBron has the most basketball intelligence out of anybody on that list.
Without a doubt.
He will always make the right play.
Right.
You want him to take the shot. He won't take the shot. He's more of, I want to get my teammate into it. But when he becomes that dude that just says, like, listen, nobody's going to stop me right now, which is very rare.
Right.
When he was in Miami, when he was playing the villain, he did it.
Yeah.
And think about it, when Kobe played the villain, that's when we saw some of the best work of Kobe. When he started playing the villain. But you can't, it's only for so long you can do that, especially when you're a great guy. But I don't know, I would have to put, when I say most impactful, you think about the eras that they're in. So you gotta go Michael, you gotta go Kobe, you gotta go LeBron. Now who's that other piece? Is it Larry or is it Magic?
Well, that's the fun part of it. And there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah,
because no right or wrong.
You think about Larry and Magic arguing about Michael Jordan when he came in.
Yeah.
And they said how they wanted to challenge him. And it was like, this guy want to be the heir to the throne. So it was like they went in a full-out basketball practice and challenged Michael Jordan. They said, you pick your 5, we're going to pick our 5. And then they said Michael just ate him up. He said him and Larry sat on the bench and said, Yep.
New sheriff in town. Yeah, new sheriff in town.
Coach Ross said he almost put Steph in there because of his impact on today's game.
That's why I put him in.
I do believe that Steph has like changed the whole NBA.
He did.
Because you think about Michael Jordan in his era, they didn't care about 3-point shots.
No.
Period. Kobe, they didn't care. I mean, they shot him, but nobody came in and shot like Steph Curry.
Let me bring up a fun point there. I didn't mean to cut you off, but so when you play 2K,
yeah,
you see the effect that Steph had on the game. Because if you want to match the 15 Golden State Warriors, put them against the 97 Bulls, see how much trouble you have beating the Golden State Warriors because of what Steph can do.
He'll shoot eyes out. But then you got to go back to that Mount Rushmore. Who do you actually think would beat Michael Jordan one-on-one? Only person I can really come close to would be Kobe. They would go back and forth, shot for shot, because it's so much alike. Now when you put Kobe up against LeBron, like LeBron backs Kobe down. Kobe goes out to the three. I started thinking about a one-on-one. Before you answer that,
okay.
Terry Morning gave me his too. He said Mike, Kobe, LeBron, Tim Duncan. Forgot about him. Allen Iverson. That's his starters. On the bench, the Dream, Olajuwon, KD, Magic, Bird, and I forgot about Reggie Miller. Dang, y'all some basketball heads.
That's why I said you have so many
y'all some basketball heads around here, man.
I love it. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because people love talking about
it. I used to hate Tim Duncan because he was so...
He's boring.
He's so boring.
He's boring.
So fundamentally sound.
Yes.
He's going to do a layup before he dunks. I'm like,
no passion.
Yeah.
Just always ask what I do.
Just plays the game.
Yeah.
Never gets in any trouble. I like when they first started sitting players on the bench resting them. And under Tim Duncan's one time, they was like, what's the reason for him being out? And just put old.
Yeah. Yeah. He was an old soul, too.
Yeah, Popovich.
Yeah.
Another great coach. So, hey, y'all are right.
It's fun to talk about that stuff. But it's that whole thing, again, in football, when you've got one last play and you're on 4th and inches in the Super Bowl, out of all the quarterbacks,
I'm giving.
Who do you want? Who do you want? You know?
I'm giving Mr. Skittles himself the ball. That cost them a Super Bowl, but that's another discussion right there. Man.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I flew off the couch and I held my head. I'm like, what are you doing?
And no disrespect to Russell Wilson. None at all. But at that particular time, you give
That's
the
Pete
ball
Carroll's fault.
to beast mode.
Yeah.
You got to.
Pete Carroll's got 2 things on his resume that he screwed up. He didn't have Reggie Bush in the game against Texas when he needed him.
Yep.
And then he didn't have the beast carrying the ball.
Oh, yeah.
He lost out on 2 rings doing that. Anyway, that's a discussion for another time. But I love talking about, if you take out one chess piece, who do you put in there? You're really interchanging. You're not losing much.
I mean, and do you think they're going to change the logo? I mean, I don't think.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's something I had down, and I do have feelings about that.
I don't think Kobe would want to be the logo.
No.
Even before Michael Jordan. I can see if Michael Jordan turns it down. Jerry West doesn't want to be the logo. He hates the fact that it came out.
He's so humble, though.
Yeah, he hates the fact that it came out that he is the logo. Like, that bothers him. And I know right now everybody's emotions going wild, everybody's going crazy, but I just think that it's like trying to change the NFL logo.
Right.
It's just certain things you can't change. When you see that shield, you automatically know NFL. And you change the NBA logo. It's going to bring up some hatred that I don't want to see right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that part of it. And I think it'll bring up a lot of hatred that America's not ready for. I think 2040, I think it'll be a different conversation then.
Yeah.
We'll probably look at it. But, right now, the way the world is, I think it's not a bad idea. I think it's a great idea. But I think right now, the negative impact of it from people that are not ready to see change, it can hurt us.
I have 2 answers with it. My first answer is Jerry West is one of the best men, if not the greatest man that the NBA has ever seen.
Yeah.
Jerry West is the greatest basketball mind that I have ever seen, and that I think that anyone has ever seen as far as a player And then he had the ability to go into the front office.
Yep.
And people don't know the teams that he's built.
Yeah.
He has been behind so many great teams, just like Prince was behind so many great songs that he never sang, he produced them.
Yep.
Jerry West is the Prince of administration when it comes to NBA basketball.
Exactly.
And he is the one who brought Shaq to LA. He is the one who talked to Shaq and said, there's this guy Kobe that I've got to get him away from the Charlotte Hornets. He's going to be the next guy. Yeah. And nobody believed him. Jerry West was so broken up. I watched the TNT special where he was sitting beside Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
That was hard to watch. That was the closest to emotional that I got, was number one, seeing Jerry, who has accomplished so much in his life as a player and as a front office guy, was just crying uncontrollably because he felt like he raised Kobe.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who believed in him the most.
Oh, yeah.
And then to see Shaq set the record straight and say, look, I know everybody out there thinks that we hate each other. I know everybody out there thinks we want each other's throat. He said, and I'm not going to deny that we weren't competing to be number one.
Yeah.
But that's what made us great. He said, so I live with this regret now, thinking, man, if we'd have stayed together, we would have won 10 rings.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I believed him.
Yeah.
Because if you were around watching the Lakers then,
yeah,
you'd go, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I was shocked when they didn't win the 4th ring in a row when the Pistons beat them. But that also exposed how weak the locker room was at that time.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately Shaq has to live with that guilt the rest of his life.
He does. My nephew's over here. My nephew's a huge Kyrie Irving fan. He's like, no, Kyrie changed the game. He's fussing about Kyrie.
Yeah.
But I always tell him how trash Kyrie is. Listen, Kyrie is a wonderful basketball
It's just his
player.
attitude that holds him back.
Attitude is really messing him up.
Yeah.
My mom came on here. Shout out Ann. She said, what about Allen Iverson? And it's hard to leave AI off that list. I think AI and Magic are like two of like the greatest point guards that we probably see. Steph Curry, all those guys. AI he changed the game. That's
He
what
did.
your tattoos.
He brought hip hop into it.
He definitely brought hip hop into it. He made the NBA fun, but that cat could play some ball.
Oh, he was sick.
I mean, listen, when he crossed Jordan up, I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
That's
man.
when you knew. Yeah.
He's the truth. Coach Ross said Jerry West has the magic touch when it comes to building championships teams. He said he had the Lakers, the Grizzlies, the Warriors, and now he's got the Clippers. So you think about his magic touch that he does put on the game. Jerry West is just that dude. But I mean, it's so hard with AI. I think AI really changed the game. Guys started wearing cornrows. Then you started seeing afros.
Well, and the way they were dressing the games, it was a statement.
The bigger baggy clothes.
Right.
Like, now the players want to go back to the short shorts, the tight shorts.
Let's not even get into that right now.
That's a whole other topic.
So,
Coach Ross did say AI was a force of nature. I mean, he didn't almost beat the Lakers, but he put it on the Lakers himself in that.
he shocked the world that night.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Just the crossover, the step back, over Kobe. He did everything that he wanted to do that game.
He did.
Man, my nephew's still laughing, but I'm telling you, Kyrie. It's gonna take a long time for Kyrie to get back. Kyrie probably should have went to the Lakers. Or probably should have went to the Clippers. Something of that nature. But I mean, I know he wants to join up with Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant doesn't
I don't think it's gonna go well.
Kevin Durant doesn't have that mentality to kill, which is why he had to combine with another team. They said the same thing about LeBron.
Right.
He has to combine with somebody else great, and I think that's one thing that's probably going to hinder LeBron's career.
It is.
He always had to have another great player on the team with him. But if you think about the Showtime Lakers, all of those guys.
Well,
the old Bulls.
free agency was not
Yeah.
a thing back then either. So
my nephew, okay, he just dropped 54, 19, and 23. And guess what? He is going to be out for another week because he's hurt. Now what Kyrie gonna do?
Well, I didn't finish my thought about the logo thing either. So I finished my side about Jerry West, but the second side of that is, if anybody was to assume or get anointed with that, I would have no problem with Kobe being that because of the kindred spirit that Jerry and Kobe shared.
Yeah, Kobe drafted.
They're one and the same. You can't separate them.
Yep.
Just like Shaq and Kobe, you'll never separate them. Just like Shaq and Penny, you can't separate them. So Jerry and Kobe.
We forgot about Penny Hardaway.
Dude, I'll never forget about Penny.
No.
But Penny Penny, it was, again, we have your section of shooting stars. You have your section of guys who just took the NBA by the throat and said, I'm
I
here.
forgot about T-Mac, too.
No, they're always there.
Vince Carter. He's just not retiring this year.
Vince, I have the utmost respect for him because of he is my age. Still
balling.
And he's taking care of himself.
And he hasn't lost his bounce.
No.
But see, you think about it, with Kobe. Kobe went overseas, had different work done to his body that they wouldn't do over here.
Right.
He was the first. That's why LeBron got it. LeBron spends like $1.5 million a year on his body, massages, everything, just to stay.
That's
up.
what it takes.
And they recognize I got to work out. Like I got to eat this way. Like LeBron cheats a month out the whole year. So you imagine 11 months out the year, you're eating according to your career.
Yeah.
According to your career. Kyrie may not be better than Dame Dollar right now. Coach Ross, can you please tell Ryan that? Goodness. Ryan, Coach Ross said it himself. Kyrie is not better than Dame Dollar right now.
Well, again, you've got Damian who's got the attitude of he's
listen, he killed us the other night.
He's a fighter. He's a fighter. Kyrie is too caught up in wanting to hear himself talk.
Yeah.
He wants to be a politician.
Yeah. I mean, am I the least favorite player? Listen, I hate the Golden State Warriors. I hate it even worse when they got Kevin Durant. I said, I can't believe y'all.
You got to admit they're fun to watch.
Yeah, like this
NBA
is like ridiculous. But then I'm like, I can't stand Draymond Green. I won't, because Draymond Green plays old basketball. If I look at Draymond Green, I mean, minus his shooting, because this guy never shot, it would be like Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman got under everybody's skin.
Closest thing.
That was his thing every day.
Yeah.
Every game, he was going to get up under your skin. You're going to be to the point where you're going to fight him, and he's just going to walk away with
Dennis
his
was
arms
smart.
up. He was so smart. They called him the Worm because his game was so sleazy.
Yeah.
That
he got in your head.
Yes.
He was smart.
And then Meta World Peace became the same thing. He became just that dude, like he was there for his rebounds and to make you try to fight him. And we're not even going to talk about the brawl. What's his name? Was it Terrell Sprewell? Is that how you pronounce it?
Oh, the Terrell Sprewell?
The Terrell Sprewell who choked his coach.
I'll never forget that. I knew when that happened, I'm like, wow, the NBA has turned a different corner.
It definitely turned a different corner. I couldn't imagine. But, these players could learn a lot from Kobe, and I think a lot of them were scared they thought he was not approachable, and he showed them just as much how approachable he was in his last parts of his life, and I think that's why he's so beloved now, because I loved watching him and his daughter sitting on the bench talking about the game, and they're whispering, and it was like a meme that had came out there making fun of that. But just the relationship they had, and he was like, she wants the NBA TV all on her phone, and then how he championed women's basketball.
Yeah.
Now, WNBA just now got big contracts now. They start getting big contracts where somebody can actually make $1 million a year, $500,000. It's so much money that's going into it now. I think the WNBA is going to be around for a while, but it requires the NBA players to support it.
Right.
I've seen LeBron go into some great games. Kobe strongly supported it. I mean, eventually you're going to have a women's basketball coach in the NBA. What about the woman that's coaching in the Super Bowl today?
Yes, for the Niners, the offensive assistant, right?
Yeah, it's amazing times what's going on right now. And I really believe that's why that guy was so championed, because he championed everybody.
Oh, I said Pat Summitt could have coached in the NBA years ago, 2 decades ago.
She definitely could. I don't know why Coach K hasn't went to the NBA. I mean, he has a very colorful vocabulary.
He's older than we think he is, too.
Yeah, he's definitely. Did you see him go off on the student body the other night?
That was emotion. He was hurting.
Oh, man.
When that kind of morning where you're confused whether you're hurting and you're angry.
Yeah.
That's what I hurt for him when he did that. I know that he wasn't mad at those kids.
Yeah.
He loved Kobe so much because he coached him in the Olympics.
Yeah.
He felt a closeness with Kobe that he hadn't felt with other guys. And I mean, how would you and I feel, if we had just lost somebody that we put so much time into?
Yeah, he said Kobe took time out, just played with his grandkids for hours.
Yeah, that's what that was. He was hurting. It was so soon.
Yeah, but they said, and the guy that he was coaching against used to be a Duke player.
Yeah.
So, he was like, he's one of us.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I was like, what what if Friday night, me and Coach Ford, you know, our players get to try to argue with one of us, how would we feel? You
Right.
know, it'll mess up that whole situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know this is supposed to be about Kobe, man, but there's so many other things, and it's just, it all comes full circle.
Yeah, it does. So many lessons, and you know, and we're getting to the point in the show where we can start coming. We've made a lot of good points.
Yeah.
We've put color on things that a lot of people didn't do this week, and that's what I was trying to get us to do was not just talk about the sadness part of it. That is the obvious one, but it is. I think the best thing that we can do is to celebrate Kobe and say, look, you know what? The guy, it's not even about basketball. It's about life itself.
Yeah.
And when you got guys who are out there as great public speakers right now, Kobe has some of the best quotes out there. If you just want to look them up, they're just one after another.
Yeah.
And my challenge to people that listen to us and who are fans of us and who know us, if we've coached your kids, you know where we stand. You know that we are tough love. You know that we are consistent like the sun coming up and down every single day. You know what you get. We're honest. If you ask us our opinion, we're going to tell you. If you ask us, what does my son or my daughter need to do better, we're going to tell you. And you can take it or leave it. And that's what Kobe was all about. And I love him for that. I respect him for that. It's not about his game. It's about, even if Kobe had never been a basketball player, he was going to be successful, whatever he did in his life. You and I aren't successful based on money. We're successful based on the impact that we've got guys and girls who come back to us and give us hugs. The ones that we were hardest on come back and give us hugs and knuckle pounds and say thank you. That is our impact. That's our legacy that's going on right now. It's not about the wins and losses. It's about what we pour into those kids. When we look them in the eye and say, please listen to me, because I'm telling you the truth. I've been there before. That is what I took from him while he was alive, and that's what I will carry on in his passing, is that I will be paying respect to him every day for the rest of my life, as I'm the same way he was. And I'm proud to say that I'm the same way. I'm proud to say that I played basketball like he did. I was never as good, but I played with the tenacity and the attitude of, I got time to be friends with you later. I am trying to destroy you on the court, and there's everything right with that. Same thing if I'm in college sitting next to you in that desk. If it's between me and you getting that job when I got out of college, I love you, but it's going to be me. You know? That to me sums up Kobe Bryant.
I mean, Usher said it best the other night when he got done singing. That was such a beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Celebration.
It was beautiful.
But Usher said, "This is not a death. It's a celebration."
Absolutely.
I take so much joy in knowing that, you know, they went to church beforehand. I think he was Catholic, so they took communion. He had everything right with God before he left this earth. So, you know, no matter how much we miss Kobe right now and how much we miss the people that died, when they get to heaven, when you leave this earth and you see how much beautiful it is after this life right here, I tell people all the time, if I could bring my grandmother back, she wouldn't come back. Because there's a party going on where she's at. There's no pain, there's no hurting, it's day always, it's singing, it's rejoicing. They wouldn't come back. You know, all they can leave us with is those memories. I think the people that hurt at the funerals are the people that say or feel bad because they didn't do everything they were supposed to do while that person was alive. So, you know, I tell my family all the time, don't be crying at my funeral. Y'all better enjoy me while I'm here. It is a celebration. I'm going on to a better place. And I've taught you everything that I could teach you. And Lord saw it fit for me not to be here anymore. This is truly a celebration. And we can celebrate this man's life. We can start to pattern some things off his life. I got a lot of quotes now I can use in basketball and in football that Kobe Bryant said, and a lot of different mindset that I can use from that go forward. So I think we all go forward from now. I know they got to bury him, put him in the ground, and they're still going to be hurt. But, you know, the best thing that we can do for all of those families is pray for them. Because everybody comes around that first week, that first month. And people start to fall off and they start to forget. And you're left there just grieving.
Right.
We got to think this has been Vanessa's sweetheart since she was a teenager.
Since 17.
Yeah, so those are the families we got to pray for. That coach that was coaching baseball, they said he was like the Kobe Bryant when it came to JUCO baseball.
That's right.
Everybody loved him.
That's right.
The moms, the daughters, all the kids that lost their lives, the kids that are in the mama camp. We just got to keep all these people in our prayers. And if Kobe was here, I know he would want us all to go forward. But don't be crying over me. I lived my life. I did everything.
You lived a wonderful life.
I've touched millions of people. Now it's our time. What is going to be your mama mentality this week? Are you going to complain about Monday? Monday shouldn't be a day that you complain about. Everybody hates Monday, but you wake up every Monday and you go to the job you hate, or you go to the school you hate, and you do those things. But the most important thing is you wake up. Last Sunday, last week, 9 people were not allowed to wake up no more. Not on this earth.
Right.
And they're not here no more. So we celebrate and take joy in knowing that they lived their lives to the fullest. And now it's our time to get our own Mamba mentality or our mentality to do and push ourselves further. I know I got a book that I keep saying I'm going to finish. It's time to finish that book.
It is.
Stuff I'm procrastinating on, jobs, making more money, all of these things we got to stop procrastinating on. And I think that's what Kobe was about. No more procrastination, guys. Just do it. Shut up and do it. I mean, he won that Oscar, and one thing he said was kind of like it wasn't a dig, but it was a dig at the people that thinks the athlete should be quiet. And he won his Oscar, and he was like, I'm glad I didn't shut up and dribble.
Exactly.
Anything that God gives you to do, let's do it. Let's go forward with it, and let's press on, and let's move forward, and keep the legacy of Kobe Bryant and his beautiful daughter and those other people that lost their lives on the helicopter alive.
Well, the last thing I'd like to say is I love the friendship that you and I have because we don't leave anything unsaid. We always keep it 100. We keep it present. And I'm happy and proud to say that you and I, we're busy, but we always make time for each other. And that's something that we don't need to be shook up to go, oh my gosh, I see how important Ty is to me.
Yeah.
That's the message I want to give to everybody else. Please don't leave anything unsaid. If you need to say something to somebody, don't let another catastrophic thing happen for you to get shook up and say, I need to go talk to that person. The time is now, guys. The time is now. It's time to stop talking about, oh, what's the new year anymore. Hey, we're in February now.
Yeah.
And 2020 is flying by if you haven't noticed.
Exactly.
And we're in the shortest month of the year, so February is going to fly by even though it's a leap year. So guys, get on the bus. Get on the bus towards moving forward and progress and great things and treat people kindly around you. We've been spreading this message since June of 2019, and we're going to continue doing that. And I appreciate this show because this furthers our message.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to use this and every other thing that we can moving forward because we are going to take that mentality that Kobe left behind and we are going to keep it alive. I guarantee you we're going to keep it alive. This is not going to be the last time you hear Kobe Bryant from us.
Yeah.
Hug the people that you need to. Hug the ones that have needed it for a while. And if you need to say something to that person or people, please don't wait because you may not get another chance.
Exactly.
For Ty Steele, I'm Dave Ford. One last note, if you're out in the community this week, this is going to be one heck of a finish in the 2019 and 20 regular season in Bay County basketball. I know that we got 3 games on tabs, but the only one that really matters this week is Friday night at Rutherford at 7 o'clock. Best believe that gym is going to be popping. The ceiling might come off because it about did at Mosley 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Please come there and join us. We'd love to see you. We would love to know who's out there watching us.
Yeah.
I am so excited once again to end the season with this guy. Across the sideline for me, it's all love, it's all respect.
My nephew.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Listen, I hate to stop you. My nephew.
What's he saying?
He's got to come on this podcast. Listen.
Oh, we got a long list of people that want to come on the podcast now.
I just need you to show out when you play Mosley on Friday night. J.O.B. What's your number again? Tell me your number again.
Who is this?
My nephew, Ryan.
Okay.
So he plays JV basketball for Rutherford too.
Okay.
So he's a clown.
Everybody look, get your rest. If you're sick, get better. I know I'm better now with the grace of God. He healed me. And take care of yourselves. There's so many sicknesses going around. We got strep. We got that stupid coronavirus is knocking on the door trying to get in here. So be safe, be blessed, love everybody around you, and enjoy the Super Bowl. Have a great time. Peace and love.
Peace and love, guys.